What's going on, everybody? This is Shane Thomas, ready to show you another country classic on the acoustic guitar. This time we're going to learn 1990s hit for Travis Tritt, I'm Gonna Be Somebody. Reached number 2 in the United States, but number 1 in Canada. It was written by Stuart Harris and Jill Kalushi. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that last name, but Jill's a terrific songwriter, wrote No One Else on Earth for Winona, co-wrote Anymore with Travis Tritt, one of my favorite Travis Tritt songs, which I'm going to make a future video, show y'all how to play that one, and No One Else on Earth too. I'll make a video about that one in the future. So this song is very simple, but it's got a powerful message. I love this song's message. I love the song's story. It takes you on a little journey throughout the life of Bobby, our protagonist, who is just playing his guitar and trying to be somebody. So hopefully this message rings loud and clear for you as well, that you are somebody, that you could be somebody, no matter if you play music or whatever your interests are, whatever you decide to do with yourself, you can be somebody. And I think this song really has a powerful message. I remember learning this song when I was a teenager, probably like Bobby's age when he was starting out. And I remember this song really resonated with me, and I was like, heck yeah, I could be somebody. Shoot, especially if I learn how to play the guitar like Bobby. But I digress. Let's get going. Let's learn how to play this song. It's in the key of G. It's a very, very simple song. We just got to learn basically 4 chords. The outro's a little different. It's a little interesting, but I'll show you that, so stay tuned. So it's in the key of G. We're just going to learn the G chord first. So basically you put your finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, put a finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, like that. Then play your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string open. And do not forget this, that caps it off right there. The G note right there, which is the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So just strum all 6 strings. Speaking of strumming, this is now the song is faster than this, of course, but the strumming pattern's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that's pretty much it. Now, once we start playing the song, kind of up to speed with the record, you'll get the strumming pattern now. All right, so we got G. We got the G chord. Now, next chord, the C chord. C, which is on the 2nd string of the 1st fret. Put that index finger there. Skip the 3rd string. Press down on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and the 5th string, 3rd fret. And play all 5 strings, including that 1st string open, but don't play the 6th string, all right? So 5th string on down. Now D chord. D chord, 1st string, 2nd fret. Skip a string, put your index finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, then put your ring finger in between on the 3rd string or 3rd fret, 2nd string, and play the 4th string on down. So there's our intro. So G, C, D, repeat, G, C, D, and that's our intro. Now, the song structure, fairly simple. Intro, verse 1, chorus. Then you got verse 2, repeat chorus. Guitar solo, verse 3, repeat chorus. And then a little outro. Now, it's interesting. I think this is kind of interesting. And usually when I was learning the song, I would go back to make sure I didn't miss any words. But the first verse has kind of like 2 sections. And pretty much the 2nd verse and the 3rd verse just has 1 section. So I always thought that was interesting. But it documents the story of Bobby, trying to be somebody. And he lived up to his affirmation. He was giving himself those daily affirmations. So in the first verse, we see the beginning and the desire and determination of Bobby. So let's learn a little bit about Bobby and how he was going to be somebody. Here we go. G. But then the verse, instead of G, C, D, we're going to switch it up. Even though we're starting on G, we're going to go to D, C, which is very different than the intro was. All right, so here we go. So here's the G again. 6th string, 3rd fret, 5th string, 2nd fret, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string open. And 3rd fret pressed down on the 1st string. All right. Bobby played his D on the hard side of C. D was hard for a poor boy D to find the money. So see how that works? Instead of G, C, D like the intro, it is G, D, C. He had dedication. He had heart and soul. All right, so the second time around on this first verse, don't forget to go back to C. Somehow knew D. He was born to play D. Okay? So, G, D, C. Then you go back to C instead of going back to G. So let's do this. Bobby played his guitar on a hard side of town. First time around we go to G. Was hard for a poor boy to find the money. C, D. This is second time around, so there's a difference. Watch. He had dedication. He had heart and soul. Instead of going to G, somehow knew, we go to C. Somehow knew D. He was born to play. That's the first part of verse 1. Then you end it on that D. Then let's repeat. Let's go to G again. People said, get a real job. D. Support your family. D. See that? And the road you're taking. Never said a word. Dream of just C, D. Now, this is our second time around in the verse. Remember, we go to C, not G, the second time around. Late at night, D, you can hear them say G, D. So remember, when you go back to that D, to me it triggers something's coming. First time we did it, it's triggering the second part of the first verse. The second time we do it, it's coming, it's triggering us, getting us all set for the sing-along chorus. Y'all ready to sing along? Ready? Back to G. I'm gonna, but this time, so remember, intro and chorus are the same. Remember the intro, G, C, D? That's how the chorus is. I'm gonna be, see somebody. Boom. Yeah. One of these days I'm gonna D. G. I'm gonna be somebody. Now here's the difference. So in the chorus where he says, I'm gonna be somebody someday, that someday is a new chord. That someday is a B7. B7, all right, here we go. So right before he says, you can bet your heart on dollar I will. So that's a B7. So B7, it's a kind of a difficult chord. So if you're just learning guitar, just keep practicing it. It was one of the first chords I ever learned. I learned E, A, and B, and B7. In hindsight, those weren't the easiest ones to learn, but I didn't know any better when somebody was teaching me. But it paid off, all right? So here we go. B7, put your middle finger on the 5th string 2nd fret. Put your ring finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret. And put your 1st finger on the 4th string. That's Folsom Prison Blues. first finger on the 4-string first fret, and then somehow manage put that pinky on the 1st string 2nd fret and play all the strings. It's difficult. Now, and it's something you got to do all that work for just a little smidge of the song. So here's the chorus again. G, I'm gonna be somebody. D, G, one of these days I'm gonna see the D. I'm gonna be somebody someday. So just know you want your ears to be ready for when it says someday. Someday, that is B7. Now to C. You can bet your hard-earned D, I will. All right, you can bet is on C. Your hard-earned dollar is on D. I will. Back home to G. Okay? That was the chorus. We're just going to repeat that. After the 2nd verse, the road was a struggle. Now remember, we're back to verse, which means we don't go to C. We go to G, D, C, not G, C, D. So G, the road was a struggle to continue C to D. Now he's number 1 on the stage and radio. All right, so just like we learned in the 1st verse, the chord pattern. And then after that 2nd verse, after you remember that D triggers the chorus. I'm gonna be somebody. We're back to G, C, D, just like the intro. One of these days I'm gonna break these chains. There we go. G, C, somebody. Remember someday, what's someday equal? B7. You can bet your C, dollar D, I will. Yeah, yeah. And then guitars solo. That kind of thing. And so you just keep strumming. Do 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 do. So just kind of keep strumming along with those chords, G, C, and D. And then remember that D triggers, we're going back to the verse. Bobby played his hometown one full moon August night. Verse 3 here. G. So the 3rd verse, he sees this young guy after Bobby's already made. So verse 1, Bobby's trying to be somebody. He becomes somebody. In verse 2, after 10 years on the stage, struggling, now he's number 1 on the stage in radio. Then he says, repeat chorus. And then the guitar solo, verse 3, now, full circle. You see this all the time. The mentee becomes the mentor. The student now becomes the teacher, and he passes it on. So basically, Bobby's influenced another young person out in the crowd in verse 3. And that person's going to be somebody. So it's a very positive message that no matter if it's the music industry, music business, or whatever industry, guarantee there's people out there that you have influenced or influenced you, then you grow up and influence other people. It's a beautiful thing, this little circle of life kind of thing. So anyway, verse 3, same chords, G, D, C. But then you hit that chorus, G, C, and D. All right? And then at the very end, then you repeat the chorus again. Then at the very end, they have this down, 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 and you end on G. So basically, so now you can play that. Dun, 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 dun. You can play like a G or a C. You can just walk it down there. But it's up to you. I mean, you don't have to get all that detail. So it's basically like a C, a G, and a B, an A minor. A minor is basically first fret, second string, and then you put your second and third fingers on the third and fourth string and play the fifth string open. So that's an A minor, G. But don't get too hung up. You can just say dun, 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 dun. You can leave out the little walk descending bass line from the C note to the B note to the open A to the A minor to G. So don't get too hung up on that if you don't want to learn that. But basically you can just play the C, A minor, G if you want to end the song like the record ends the song. All right? All right, so let's recap. Intro is C or G, C, D. So just kind of make a note to yourself, write it down if you have to. The intro and the choruses are the same chords, G, C, D. But the verses, and there's 3 verses, they're different. They're the same chords, just different order. G, D, C. And there's your song. And then that outro again was the C, A minor, G. Or if you really want to get advanced, C, the G, B right there, or you could stick with the C note, B note, open A, play that A minor chord, G, and you end the song. So if you just don't let it intimidate you, just take it section by section. Know that intro and the choruses are the same chords. The verse is a different order of those chords, and there's 3 verses. Intros or outro is just a little unique, but it's not too difficult. And there's your song. I'm Gonna Be Somebody by Travis Tritt. So thank you for the wonderful songwriters, and Travis for bringing it to us. Just a phenomenal song with a phenomenal message that impacts us even to this day, and hopefully has a message for you to get out there and be somebody. And if you're already somebody, have a positive effect on other people and help them be somebody. It's a great thing. All right, so I'm Shane Thomas. If you all want to learn some country songs, go ahead and put them in the comments below. Again, I appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can get all the latest guitar tutorials when I put them out. And if you have any requests, put them in the comments. I love it. Go out there and be somebody. Hey, you can bet your bottom dollar I will. Take care.